Patriots are coming off their second win of the season, and they're looking to make it 2 in a row down in Tennessee. What's up, everybody? It's Mike Dussault and Evan Lazar here to break down this weekend's game as the Patriots travel to Tennessee to take on the Titans. And Evan, we've got to start first with the quarterback position.
Yeah.
Some uncertainty, but I'm thinking right now as we tape this, it's going to be Jacoby Brissett. What did you see from Jacoby last week against the Jets?
Yeah, both teams have some quarterback uncertainty right now. We don't know if it's going to be Mason Rudolph, Will Levis, and Brissett and Maye. So we'll see for both teams. But as we tape this right now, it does feel like it's Brissett versus Rudolph. It would be my guess, but we'll find out. And in terms of what I saw from Brissett, I thought this was one of his better games of the year coming off the bench. Really impressive performance. Obviously, just gutsy, coming off the bench and really performing well in the clutch. Had some big throws, big plays on that final drive. I thought the drive starter to Hunter Henry was really underrated with that whole thing. You got to have that one positive play to get that drive going, and that was it. Good scramble on third down, then obviously the big throw to Kayshon Boutte. So you look at the overall body of work for Jacoby Brissett, I thought he more than did his job in this game.
Let's stick with this side of the ball and more specifically focus on the Titans. Kind of an underrated defense a little bit. 9th in DVOA, 11th in EPA. Don't sleep on this Titans defense. T'Vondre Sweat, you know me, Evan. I like those big defensive players.
He's been great.
He's great. Jeffrey Simmons as well up front. Two tough guys for the interior of the Patriots offensive line to deal with. What else do you see from the Titans defense?
Yeah, it's a fun defense to study on film because, frankly, I don't know what they're in half the time from a coverage standpoint. And, when I try to label the coverages, I'm just like, I think this is what it is. So they have a very Baltimore flavor. Their defensive coordinator is a Ravens disciple. So you see a lot of those simulated pressures and things like that where you have a bunch of guys up on the line of scrimmage and you just don't really know who's coming, who's dropping into coverage. And then they do some different things with their safeties that make it really difficult to identify coverage and read out the coverages that they're exactly in. I think they play fast. They play physical brand of football as well. The stats are good for this Titans defense, and I don't think the 52 points they gave up last week against the Detroit Lions, don't look at that too much because there were 5 short fields in that game. There was a special teams touchdown. It was a wonky game for the Titans defense. I feel like this defense is better than what they showed.
Let's flip over to the other side of the ball. We spent a lot of time talking about Calvin Ridley last spring.
Yeah.
He's now on the Titans. He had a really good game last week, his best of the year. He's a threat. How the Patriots going to deal with him?
Yeah, they've had a tough time getting him going, but I really feel like when you watch him on film, he's still an explosive playmaker, and we finally saw that last week against the Lions, who played a ton of man coverage, as they always do against the Titans, and Ridley was the one guy that Rudolph could go to that was able to beat man coverage. So he's the most dangerous, I would say, in the slot, working slot fades, slants, vertical routes are definitely his forte, and then he kind of works off of that at the first level. You get him to respect the fade, and then you run the slant. That's how it works, and you see those types of things with Calvin Ridley, and although his numbers in the first handful of games weren't great, you watch the film and you still see a very explosive guy.
Yeah, Tony Pollard, another guy, NFL veteran, was with Dallas for a long time. He's a threat every time he touches the ball. Patriots got to be aware of him as well. Evan, on these previews, we usually don't talk about special teams, but I think the Titans special teams are worthy of talking about. They allowed 2 special team scores last week. We know the Patriots had a big return from Marcus Jones. He's a weapon. How can the Patriots take advantage of this Titans special teams units? Yeah,
look, their punt coverage, so covering punts, get that straight. They are one of the worst in the NFL history, not just in this season. So they gave up a big one last week on a touchdown 60-plus yard punt return. Marcus Jones obviously has that ability to do that. They also gave up a massive kickoff return as well. So you look at the numbers that I mentioned for the Titans defense earlier, that was a big part of how the Lions were able to score 50 points in that game. So you have those big special teams moments. They're 32nd in the league in DVOA. They are horrible on punt coverage, historically bad. Now, granted, saying that, the Patriots have had some issues over the last couple weeks in their own right in punt coverage too. So this is one of those games where both teams are probably looking at the opponent in the punting game and saying we can have a big return this week.
All right, well, let's go on now to our last segment. Key Patriot for this game. Evan, I'm going to tee you up and let you run with it. Is it special? Is it a special teams player? It could be. Maybe not.
It could be. I think in terms of key player, I still look at Calvin Ridley as a player that you need to worry about in this Titans offense. And Christian Gonzalez did a great job last week against Devontae Adams. Without DeAndre Hopkins there anymore, it doesn't really feel like they have much else in the passing game to really worry about. So I would expect Gonzalez to get the matchup against Ridley. And let's face it, the guy picked the Titans over the Patriots. I'm sure that the Patriots would like to not have him go off in this game, right? That wouldn't really look great. So my guess is that they'll have something ready for Ridley.
Yeah, I'm just going to stick with Jacoby Brissett, assuming he's going to start. I think they need that veteran leadership. He looked better last week. Maybe he's settled down a little bit with a couple weeks off.
Yeah.
The protection's better. Maybe it helps him be more productive, and certainly those last 2 scoring drives in the fourth quarter were great. So something to build off of Jacoby. He's got to carry it over, though, going against a fellow backup quarterback. So hopefully he can play clean, not turn the ball over, and put the Patriots in position to win the game. So be sure to tune into the Patriots pregame show coming at you at 10:45 a.m. on Sunday morning, and, of course, the Patriots postgame show right after to break down the game for you. We'll see how it goes down there in Tennessee for the Patriots if they can pick up their 3rd win of the season.